What's up, everyone? As you see in the title, this is my Jurassic World Rebirth review, and let's get straight to it. I have a lot to say about this franchise in general, especially based on other people's takes or reviews on the films and films prior. And for me, in general, I like Rebirth. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. I thought the film was fun. I like to see the franchise moving forward. I know sometimes people and myself can be like, I just let it die already. Enough is enough. But there's just, I feel like so much that you can do with the franchise, especially from taking it with Jurassic Park 1 through 3 into Jurassic World and what they've done with the franchise since. I want more Jurassic Park and / World movies. I really enjoyed what they have going on, and there's world building, and a lot of people in the reviews, they didn't like Jurassic Park or Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom. They didn't like Jurassic World Dominion. And now with Rebirth, a lot of people are saying, oh, it's like the original, nothing new, it's the same thing. But not that it's like the original in a good way, because everyone loves the original, that's what they want. But they're like, oh, these people are stuck in an island and they gotta get out. They didn't want to be there. And I'm like, wait a minute. So you're telling me it's like part 3, people got trapped in the island for the most part. They didn't want to be there other than looking for the kid, the son. But they didn't want to get stuck there and they got to deal with these dinosaurs. No, that's not what happened with Jurassic Park Rebirth. They wanted to go into the island because they need the DNA from the 2 dinosaurs that are mutated, and I'll get to that in a bit, in that island. So they needed to be in the island. It's just that they happened to have crashed into the island with the boat and lost a lot of their items based off of the Spinosaurus' attack and grabbing the woman, and she took it with her and with the dinosaur, and now they were stuck with pretty much no weapons other than the DNA gun that they needed. It attaches to the dinosaur, pops up, and they're able to get that DNA. They wanted to be on the island. Now, is it a unique premise? People stuck on the island? No, but they wanted to be there. So I don't know why that person said, they didn't want to be there. Like, no, they wanted to be there. They were getting paid to do a specific job. Other than that, we had 2 different happenings. You had the crew that was going after the dinosaurs for the DNA, and then you had the family that didn't want to be there because they got tracked, but they were making their way, thinking they were going to see a tribe to get some help. Like, they didn't really know what was going on. They didn't know there was dinosaurs from the beginning in that island, other than the dinosaur that was the Mosasaurus, if you want to call it a dinosaur. Because I saw someone said something that it's not really a dinosaur, but whatever, we'll call it a dinosaur. And it attacked them. They made their way to the island, they were floating, and they got saved by the people that went to the island to, that was supposed to be in the island to get the DNA. But they separated from that point on. So, obviously the family didn't want to be there, but they were there. And then you had the crew that did want to be there. So it's like, it felt like Jurassic Park 3 in terms of, kind of like back to basics. Other than, Jurassic World, where you had Fallen Kingdom and Dominion, they were kind of like back-to-back films, but this one felt like its own thing, and it felt like back to basics with Jurassic Park 3, even The Lost World. But I thought it was fun. Now, these dinosaurs are mutated. A lot of people were complaining, oh, they're ugly, or they're not like cool like the original dinosaurs, and why are we getting these alien-looking Stranger Things beast with the D-Rex? And it's like, but in the beginning of the film, and even throughout the franchise, these are genetic monsters, as Alan Grant had said in part 3. They're not dinosaurs. They're based on dinosaurs, yeah, and they were supposed to kind of be dinosaurs, but throughout the franchise, they're just being called genetic monsters. They're not tampered with. They're not really dinosaurs like. So with Rebirth, the complaining of these films about them being ugly or not cool enough, and it's like, first of all, they look cool. Secondly, they're in this specific island, these were mutated dinosaurs. The DNA is different. So you have all these dinosaurs. You had the Mutodon, which is a pterodon / velociraptor mix, which people complained, oh, there was not enough raptors. There was one scene where the boy is going to relieve himself, and in the bathroom he had to go, and raptors are about to attack him, but then a Mutodon swoops in and kills them and then takes them away. Was that not cool? You want to see the same similar things with raptors? Like, we can't get new dinosaurs slash mutated dinosaurs having some type of spotlight. Like, why do you want the same thing? Yeah, the T-Rex, that rat scene, which was cool. Which, by the way, a lot of the film is, was set in the water. A slow build in the beginning, but I can deal with it. I like story. I don't mind, but it was a little bit slow. But when it gets going, it gets going. You had the Mosasaurus scene in the water, kind of teased with the Spinosaurus, that they kind of appeared here and there, and I enjoyed it. I liked it. Actually, the Spinosaurus at one point they do have more to do because in the beginning, when they showed their sails with the family, they're gone because then the Mosasaurus comes in. But then eventually they come back when they get saved by the group that was supposed to get the DNA. But I enjoyed them. These were mutated dinosaurs. They look different. They have differences to help them, like more of a swimming pattern. I don't think the Spinosaurus 3 had that kind of like the, I guess, flipper type. So even though it was swimming in the water, so to speak, in a way, but not as, I guess, agile as these. But it was fun, and you had the rat scene with the T-Rex. That was supposed to be in part 1 because in the book, that rat scene is in, the first book with Alan and the kids. But they did it here with the family, and it was great. Like, it was, I enjoyed it. The only thing I didn't like was when the T-Rex is biting the raft, why didn't the raft pop? I read that, just to keep it suspenseful and going, they didn't make it pop. It was just to continue this, the scene. And if you think about it, that's something that they do a lot in the movies. They did it with the first film when the T-Rex comes out of the paddock. And then all of a sudden when they, Grant and Lex are about to they get to there's like a dam or whatever, a moat or whatever you call it. And that wasn't there before. And I thought that was a continuity error. And I could have sworn I saw a video where they said they just added that just to have the story going forward. But in the book, apparently there is that within the paddock of the T-Rex. They just never mentioned it in the movie. So it kind of looks off. But, stuff is always added or misplaced, or they just do it just to continue the film. And that didn't bother me. Someone complained about that. And that's a legit argument. I get it. If you want more of a realistic. But that's where, I'm like, people that complain about, oh, if you want to just turn off your brain, I guess the film is great. Well, it's a Jurassic Park / Jurassic World film. It's dinosaurs. Your brain should be turned off already. Like, why do you feel like you need a little bit more of this sense of realism or smarts? Like, you're not going to get that in these type of films. You're going to get some type of scientific sayings and stuff, and they do that to kind of, make it plausible, but people still complain. And it's like, you want the first movie because it's nostalgia. It was the first time. You're not going to get that in any of these Jurassic World films going forward. You're just going to get something unique. And I like that with Fallen Kingdom. It felt like a horror film. Yeah, a little cheesy when the idea of selling, auctioning off the dinosaurs and then these, people that are buying them wanted to do what they want to do with them. But it was like, whatever, there's always some shadiness going on in the real world anyway. So why wouldn't that be a thing? Even if there's some flaws, I did read something or saw a review where there was something that just didn't make sense. I guess when the island was being watched and they were talking about the volcano in Fallen Kingdom, how did these people get onto the island secretly, because nobody was supposed to know they were there. But, it's whatever. Keep the film going, watch the damn movie. But, stuff like that, I guess that's an argument. But again, I look past that because I'm like, it has to have we have to have a film going on. That's why it was made. Dominion, the locust situation, people hate the locust situation. It's world building. Biosyn, they're greedy. They want to take over. Yeah, they have this dinosaur stuff, but they're genetic tampering. They're doing these things. So they're going to make these locusts to feed on crops so that people will buy their seeds and stuff. Like, people want to just see dinosaurs, which you got enough dinosaurs. You've seen enough. Like, what more do you want? The locust side stuff that's what it was. It was this little side plot. Oh, we got this clone girl thing going on. Like, it's all about genetic tampering. That's what these films are about. There weren't supposed to be more films after Jurassic Park, The Lost World Jurassic Park. But they wanted to continue the franchise. Yeah, they want to make money. That's what they're going to do. Let them be. Don't watch these films no more. Stop complaining because you're never going to get the first 2 films. Like, I don't understand the reasoning of these people. Now, if you don't like the film because it just didn't catch you or I get it. Like, there are legit reasons for not liking a film, but a lot of the complaints just don't make sense to me because it's like you're looking for things that you are not gonna find. Like, you're telling me the CGI was bad, and they complained about CGI in Rebirth. CGI looked amazing. It looked great. The best it's ever looked at that. But nothing beats practical. I get it. You want practical. I love practical. It's great. The first one was practical, but it also had CGI, but it had practical. Rebirth, I don't know if there's any practical. I haven't read on that, but I know it's CGI, but it looked great. So why are you downplaying the CGI as if it didn't? Like, come on. The complaints I don't get, but I enjoyed the film. I thought it was fun. The acting, I like Scarlett Johansson, but there's something about her when it comes to, like, even the trailer, I'm just like, I wasn't sold because it just feels like phoning it in, I guess. Or she just seems like similar characters. I'm like, it's like whatever. But it's nice, to have her in the franchise. I'm not complaining. I thought she did fine. But even if, at times when I watch her, I'm like, I've seen her do great. But, there's moments where I'm just like, who else? Mahershala Ali. I like Mahershala Ali, Mahershala Ali. I enjoyed him in the film. I'm glad he survived. I thought he was going to be one of those characters that died. And granted, the typical people that you think would die, died. And maybe that was a little bit disappointing because it's like there really isn't stakes. Like the boyfriend who went to relieve himself, use the bathroom. I was like, he gotta go. I thought he was gonna go from the introduction of him. But he was pretty funny and he got better as a character later on. But I was like, we need more stakes, and I would have wanted him to go just for, the stakes side of things. But he didn't go. It's fine. I didn't mind the whole family thing. I would like a film in the franchise to stay away with kids. Like, could we just have a film with no kids involved? Could we make it a little bit more darker? I get it. Kids want to see these films and they need characters to relate to. So that's why, you have these kids in these films. But at least I want a little bit more darker films. The death scenes, the eating looked fine, looked cool. The bad guy, he's a typical business person wanting money. He pretty much died similarly to the guy in Fallen Kingdom. Oh, I'll take the briefcase and put it, to handcuff it onto my wrist. Like, we saw that already. Tries to escape. He gets eaten by the D-Rex. That was a little corny because it's like we've seen these type of characters already. I'm done with these type of characters. If you want to have somebody that's shady, go more into the scientist, like, with, what's his name? The scientist who redeemed himself in Dominion, who wanted to fix the whole Locust situation. He was, I thought, a great villain. Turned, like, and at least in the first one, he didn't seem like a villain, but then he turned into like a villain in Jurassic World and Fallen Kingdom, and then he redeemed himself. Like, that was cool to see. Like, I don't want to see these CEO business type guys. It's just money. Like that, I'm done with. But I had fun with the film. To say the film wasn't fun, I just don't believe you. I'm not saying you have to like it, but a lot of these complaints there seems to have no merit. And I had one conversation, or I tried to have a conversation with one guy about the film on Facebook. He gave 7 reasons why he didn't like it, and I responded to each 7, professionally, not being a jerk or nothing. And I never said he said not to watch the film, which he accused me of saying, oh, I said not to watch the film. So I'm like, I never said that. I'm just responding to your 7 points of why you didn't like the film and the way you're giving the reason of why others may like the film. I'm like, it doesn't really, a lot of your points, I'm like, it doesn't hold merit. Like, it doesn't, like, you don't have to like something, but to complain about the things you complained about, it just doesn't make sense. Like I said, the CGI, like, what do you mean the CGI was bad? There's no way the CGI was bad. And it just, and he for some reason, he got like offended, or he just came off attacking, and I'm like, letting him know this isn't an argument. You posted, just like if I post, I expect someone to respond, and let's just have a conversation about it. But why are you attacking me and calling me a little man and making it seem like I'm trying to be a clown? And I, told him that, and even after I said that, he still responded like with the same nonsense. Oh, you're just blah blah blah. I'm like, but I just told you I'm not trying to be a jerk or argue with you. And I give these people so much time because I try to help people understand, better reading and conversational skills, and I try to show people and fix it for whatever the comments are like, and they just don't understand and they still want to come at you, and I just gotta stop giving the time of day trying to like help people understand. Not everyone is coming at you when it comes to social media posts. Like, have a conversation. Why are you fighting? But anyways, I thought the film was good. I know this came off probably of a review of me being upset about the take of the film and not necessarily going into the details of the film. But I guess, again, I had fun. There were things where I was kind of like, whatever. I will say at the beginning when they go into the, I think 17 years before the actual film starts, how the D-Rex escaped. Somebody was eating a Snickers. Like he had to go into the containment thing. He drops his Snickers wrapper, and the wrapper, disrupts the electrical thing because it goes into the, the wiring or whatever. I know people, they didn't like it. It's weird, but I guess it's possible. Would have liked something different to be done with that? Yes. Him eating his Snickers like that and leaving the wrapper on the floor, I felt like in a place like that, would that be allowed or tolerated? Like, it just kind of felt, I don't think I like that. The scientist, I think the actor, his last name is Bailey. I don't know, they were doing something with the Altoids, or he had to think he's just eating Altoids. And I'm like, Altoids if he had one Altoid, which it seemed like he just had one, I don't know. He's just crunching on it like that. It was just a little annoying. It kind of did it twice, and it's like, I don't know, there was moments where they were staring, and it's like, move your ass. Why are you just staring when something's happening? Like, go. So there was those type of moments that if I was to write something or film it, I would be like, hey, we're gonna do this instead. Let's just fix it up, because you're complaining that the Mutodon is breaking through, but you're standing right underneath to be the first victim, and stuff like that I didn't like. But again, overall the film was fun. Like, there is world building. They need the 3 DNAs from these dinosaurs because it would help create medicine that would be great for the world. Now, the big CEO guy, I'm sure he wanted those DNAs for his company so that they can be sell it for more and be the ones running that. But in the end, the idea was when he dies and they have it, they're like, we're going to give this for everyone. Whether that happens in the sequel where they're able to do something with the medicine that everybody can afford it, we'll see. Maybe another company might claim it and they just run the whole show, and it's like, well, if you want to be saved with whatever I guess it's for the heart, that medicine, like, they're going to play with that. Of course, you want to make it more about dinosaurs, so it shouldn't be about the medicine. Or from what I read from somebody else, and I forgot that in the sequel, The Lost World, Jurassic Park, the dinosaurs had something like a mad cow disease. So what if someone said in Rebirth, these mutodons Mutodon is the raptor pterodon hybrid. What I meant is the mutant, the Quetzalcoatl, Mosasaurus. I think I said Quetzalcoatl right. Mosasaurus and the other dinosaur, the Titanosaurus or something like that. They needed those 3 dinosaurs' DNA. What if with those dinosaurs, because of the mutation or whatever, had the DX virus, I believe it's called, what if that virus becomes a thing when they're making the medicine and they don't realize when they're selling it to people, and now it starts to like be a problem killing off the humans because they created this medicine and didn't realize this virus was there and they couldn't detect it. So I thought that was a good, like, oh wow, they can probably do something with that if they want to go that route with, furtherizing the story of humans and the dinosaurs in this world. And it's like, of course, how would you really make the dinosaurs a thing now, because they're dying off. In Rebirth, they're dying off. A lot of them are, going towards the equator because it's where they can live better. But, there's something there. There's something there I feel like they could do, and that person mentioned. I thought that was pretty cool idea, the DX virus. But, yeah, the film was about the mutated dinosaurs, and that's what this island was. The D-Rex, the Distortosaurus, as the name implies, Distortus. He was a messed up dinosaur, you know, a T-Rex that didn't form well, and we got this creature that looked like an alien, and people, they just like, oh, it's so weird, and they just can't realize it's a mutated dinosaur. It's just how it looks. Like, why are you complaining that it looks like the way it looks? Like, that's what it's supposed to be, the problem. It's supposed to look like that. They could have probably made a T-Rex sort of more in the head, but maybe, you know, the jaw small. I don't know. They could have done something. That was what they went with, and I'm okay with it because I get it. It's mutated. But I liked it. If you're contemplating to see it and you're seeing this, you don't care about the reviews, you know, reviews and whatnot, have fun for yourself. Watch it. Go to the theater. You know, theaters is a good time still for me. I like going to the theaters. Watch it for yourself. If you like the franchise in general, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. I just feel like if you're a fan of the franchise and you like what they're doing, you know, enjoy it. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to another one. Apparently there might be two more because it's supposed to be the new trilogy. At the moment, it's currently at 300 mil. So let's see how much it makes and if they want to do another one because of that, or they have, you know, just make it happen. I want to see more. And yeah, I don't know. I like the film. Again, I get people, you don't have to like it, but at least give a better reasoning to why I like it. You don't like it. That's my thing about it. But I enjoyed it. Again, 7.5 out of 10 stars, 2 thumbs up. Check it out for yourself. Hit that subscribe button and notification button for more updates, movie reviews, as well as short films that I've done over time. Please check them out, and hopefully I continue to do so. I will do an update. It's been a while as far as my short films. I have an update for an upcoming festival for one of my films that got accepted and 2 nominations. So I will be doing a video for that to see, you know, if you haven't seen the video, hey, by the way, check it out because it is on my YouTube channel. But yeah, that'll be another video for that. And thank you so much. And until next time, later.